So apparently this fight is ready backstage. All we're waiting for right now is for the UFC to officially announce it. Now I could be wrong, but it seems kind of like a done deal. Okay, never mind, actually I'm seeing it right here on Google. It's official. The new main event of UFC Rio de Janeiro after Rafael Fiziev pulled out is Charles de Bronx Oliveira versus Mateusz Gamrot. Oh my goodness, man. This fight is insane. I wasn't that hyped for the Fiziev matchup, honestly, because Fiziev at this point, man, the hype has really died down. Gamrot, on the other hand, those who know. He is probably the best grappler in the UFC, submissions excluded. Let's just say that he is the best or one of the best scramblers in the UFC right now. So the grappling bit of this fight will be pretty interesting, won't it? I actually don't think so. I think this fight heavily favors Charles, and let me break it down point by point. Firstly, let's talk about the grappling. I'm gonna keep it short. Gamrot's a good wrestler, man, like obviously, but he gets caught in submission positions way too often due to that. Now I know that he said he's one of the best grapplers, this and that, and Islam took Oliveira down without the threat of a submission. Firstly, only one takedown on the fight. Officially it does say two, but the first was literally Oliveira just pulling guard. But whatever, my point was that Islam wasn't able to get Oliveira down using his wrestling. The only takedown we saw was him using his judo, but on the ground Makhachev really just didn't want to be there, man. We saw him pretty much try to run out the ground positions because Oliveira was twisting shit up and making things tricky. Yeah, like Islam subbed him or whatever after rocking him bad though. Key point that y'all love to conveniently forget, like, oh, he submitted the best grappler, this and that. But dude, you have to take into consideration he was rocked. He wasn't there, like he was out of it. Now where was I going with this exactly? Like I've lost track a bit. Yeah, when Gamrot shoots in or in one of the scrambles, which will be initiated because Oliveira probably latched something up from the bottom. After that happens, Gamrot will try to escape, create a bit of a scramble, and then attacks open up for Charles, man, especially Darces and Anacondas. So yeah, I think there will be way too many situations in which Oliveira could lock in a submission that I don't think he'll miss. And when Gamrot shoots for the takedowns, I think there'll be openings in for guillotines. So, but I think Gamrot will adjust for that part, but I don't think he'll be able to adjust for the full game of Oliveira. And when it comes to the feet, Gamrot is super underrated, man. He's made some major improvements in his striking. However, Oliveira still levels above him on the feet, man. The only place Gamrot could theoretically be safe in this fight after being extremely cautious is either up against the cage, he's gonna have to sort of mirror a bit, or in full guard landing some big shots, being extremely cautious not to get stuck in a triangle or something. Now, let's be real, he's not getting mount here. But yeah, that's my early prediction for the main event. 100% accurate, by the way. Also, there was a lot of talk about Oliveira coming off a recent coma against Ilia. He literally just walked out of a coffin. But yeah, that's not a factor in this fight, man. It was a huge factor in the Fiziev fight, but Gamrot doesn't really have the same level of threat on the feet in terms of power as Fiziev did. So we're safe, man. This is definitely a better matchup for my boy Olives. And I'm not some kind of Charles Glazer or something. I've picked against him on multiple occasions. In fact, I've picked against him more times than I've picked for him on this channel. I picked Arman at 300, the first video on this channel, by the way. Now, I picked Olives to beat Chandler in the rematch, like obviously, what was I supposed to do? But I picked Ilia against him, and I picked him by round 1 KO, by the way. I picked it perfectly, so it was expected though, so I don't really get much credit there. But yeah, this is basically an objective view that I'm giving you right here. There's no bias involved. I'm a fan of both these guys. So yeah, the Merab Sandhagen fight prediction video was supposed to be out today, but this news kind of popped up. So yeah, this is what you guys get, and I'll see you all the next one, man. It's the Merab Sandhagen one, and that is one of the toughest fights I've ever had to predict, and who I picked might surprise you all, so stay tuned.